I'm Joe Netherworld, and I'm here with your daily tarot card reading for Thursday, April 24th, 2014. I've always been thinking about November. It's been coming back, repeating. I kind of figured out what that was kind of meaning. November is sort of like the start of the witch's new year. You know, Halloween is our New Year's Eve. And with that, I realized that there's a lot of things that start in November that get kind of stuck. That it's almost like we're starting over again now that we're in spring. So there's this kind of parallel view. And of course you can go online and my account on YouTube and see my readings for November and go date for date and see what you pick up. See what happened in November that's happening in April. I think it's very interesting that there's this reflexive and reflective energy going on. So we're going to read, of course, our daily reading for today, our 3-card reading. See what this has to say. There's been some interesting, what should I say? Interesting, not phenomena, but similarities and synchronicities in the universe. That these readings have been very on point about very specific things that have been good for a lot of people. And it's always strange when you do a very specific kind of read and it affects a lot of strangers in all parts of the world similarly, which means that there is an energy besides my klutzy shuffling. But we're gonna just roll through these cards, just let these things stop. I like to talk a minute, kind of get adjusted to the reading for the day, and pick our first card of the day. Six of Pentacles. Now, Six of Pentacles is a thoughtful and balanced card about finance, but also about the pros and cons and costs and profit and cost of all things you do. That's not always only about money, but it is a very money-based card. The Pentacles in general are representative of the coin or money. Excuse me. And this particular card is a money scale. It's about keeping everything in balance. So we're starting off with today for this Thursday read, Thursday, April 24th, is keeping things in balance. Financially and expenses and what it costs to undertake something new as opposed to what you could you safely stay where you are, or do you need to go forward? Everything's got a cost, everything's got a balance. So that's what today's going to be about. Checking balancing our checkbooks, both mentally, socially, physically, emotionally. But I think today's basically about money. So we're going to go into our next 2 cards, our qualifier cards, and see what the day has to say about that. And we have the King of Pentacles. It's the King of Hard Work. It's the Taurian card. It's a very Taurus card. It's got a bull in the background. It's the King of Pentacles, the King of money, making decisions. But it's not about wealth. It's about earning money, making money, being the king of what you do, and the king of resources. So that's important. And our other card up here, which I came up in a private read earlier tonight, wants to make himself known, jumped out of the deck, is the Emperor. So what you've got here today is a very practical reading about money, expenses, and not so much living beyond your means, but justifying your expenses. This is all about hard work and getting back to almost like a cash society as opposed to doing everything on credit. If you don't have enough money to do it, you just don't do it. Or you find something you can reduce to have money for something else. So it's not about just generally pulling back on all expenses. It's about maybe if you want to increase something, you have to reduce something else. Very simple scales. Not very complicated math, not a whole lot of things going on. The Emperor is a final decision maker, which is the intellect over all this, the boss over all this. And besides just being the boss over everything, it's the final word. And you could be that final word in this situation. You can kind of be the last word. You're the Emperor in this, And the Emperor, he has the globe in one hand and the staff in the other. So it's another balancing situation of responsibility and power. And then, the King of Pentacles. On the other side, there's the king. He's the King of Pentacles. It's all he's about. It's making money, protecting money, gathering money, defending money. But there's sitting right behind him the Taurian aspect of the bull, which is a good sign about being bullish in the market, about being aggressive, but also about being a hard worker. Bulls are strong, thick, and indestructible in some instances, and stubborn. And here we have this instance here where you might have to check out your ability to be too stubborn, to demand, to work yourself too hard to get what you want. I think that's really the subtext here today is, yes, you could probably work harder and almost kill yourself to get it, but that foolish stubbornness is going to work against you. So that's an interesting vibe we've got going on today. Mostly today's reading is about balance and achieving that and giving up some things to get other things. It's not about depriving yourself or suffering. Some cards on this deck and some readings, are about that. But today's reading is not about suffering or dieting financially. It's about, if you want more money to go out and spend, frivolously, you're going to have to use less money on other things. You can't do it all. So you might have to reduce one of your hobbies to have more money for going out on dates. Or if you want, fix up your car, you'll have to take away from money from your personal life. Just all those kinds of things there. If you want to do more for your kids, then you have to do less for yourself. But it's also about being creative and thoughtful. Really, that's what, at the end of the day, before you make these decisions, you have to, even if you can't make them yourself, go to someone who is the emperor in your life, your boss, your parents, your smart friend. Me, for instance, I get that all the time. I answer a lot of questions for people. Half it's a mix of common sense and psychic ability and business savvy, and they all want to ask questions. And also sometimes they'll beware of that, in that if you give up too much of your responsibility, personal responsibility, and rely on other people, then you get frivolous. So in order to keep the scales balanced, you have to take responsibility for your decision making. So that's an interesting read today. It's a Taurus day, so happy birthday if this is your birthday or birthday coming up. Taurus activity and Taurus action. It's a great day to make more money, so take job opportunities if they arise today. Be about the money today. Just be less of a spendthrift, make more money. And you know what? Maybe today's day you learn to charge people for things. Little simple things. Sometimes, if someone says that, I'll give me a ride to the store and I got a few errands, I'll pay for gas. And normally you go, oh no, don't worry about it. Like, no, today, go, sure, no, I'll take that money. Like, it's about setting precedents. It's about not always being the strong, hard worker that you are and helping others. And eventually, it sets I call the new zero. And I'll end on this. The new zero is this. Very important piece of logic I'm going to teach you right now. The new zero is, if you see someone on the street, some guy in the corner, and you always give him $1. No, you always give him $5. Once a week you see him, you feel bad, he's got his dog with him, you hand him $5 every week. And he sees you. He comes to expect that $5. He comes to expect it as the minimum that you could give him. So one day you ran out, you don't have any cash on you, you only have $2. You hand him $2. And it gives you a look like, hey, you owe me $3. When in reality, you owe him nothing. And he's $2 up, he could be at zero. But in his mind, he set the new zero at $5. A lot of your friends are like that. If you always buy the rounds of drinks, and one time you can't buy the rounds of drinks, they're not going to look at you like, oh, well, you got them 10 times before. They'll let you go, thank you so much. They're going to be pissed off because you set that zero. So it's always about the new zero. Keep that in mind. If that's the lesson you walk away from all this, shrink that back or be aware or call people out on it. Say, wait a minute, I could give you nothing. How about all those times I gave you the $5 and now you're complaining because I only gave you $2? How about next time I give you $0? We'll reset that zero to actually zero. Maybe I'll set it to less than zero and I'll be looking for money from you. So keep that in mind. So let that be the lesson for the day. Learn about the new zero. Use that as the philosophy that you walk around, and some people you realize, oh, maybe I've set the new zero on some people. I should apologize for that. And I always expect the minimum amount is a certain number when they could be giving me nothing. So keep that in mind too. It's not always about that you're the the impervious object. You do no wrong. Maybe you are doing a little bit wrong, and maybe you've set the new zero a little high on people. So for tonight's reading, we're gonna title this "The New Zero," and we'll see you again tomorrow night around midnight. But you have a great day. Happy birthday, Tauruses. Happy birthday, everyone. But tonight we're talking about Taurus people. This time of the year. It's a gorgeous spring. The energy is strong, slow, strong and powerful. Very bullish. So enjoy the Taurus spring and check your new zeros. And I'm going to turn this off now.